Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, a couple of roster moves as Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone kind of whittle down this roster as we inch towards opening day, just a few days away. Two of the big names, and this is really no surprise, Dom Smith as well as Carlos Carrasco, who have been having good springs for the Yankees so far, opting out of their deals, but no, it's not exactly goodbye to at least both of them, so kind of get into all that stuff and some other Yankee news as well. I guess they decided on who's going to be the backup catcher there. Kind of saw this way this was coming anyway, so it's really no surprise going to be JC Escarra, but again, we'll kind of dive into that as well. But before we get started, have a whole season ahead of us, so make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast. If it's your first time listening, you should be subscribing, and if you have been listening a long time, you still haven't done it yet, I don't know what's wrong with you, but subscribe. And there's also the YouTube version of the show, maybe not updated as frequently here, but updated enough there so you want to catch it as well. So go to YouTube afterwards, search for Section 420 Talkin Yankees, and follow that channel as well. So, I think it was most on the most recent YouTube episode, we kind of did highlight Carlos Carrasco having a good spring and again, very likely going to crack this roster, just the way he's kind of had a bit of a renaissance. And, of course, opportunity opened up for him with both Garrett Cole out for the year with the Tommy John and Luis Hill with the lat issue, where he's probably going to be out till at least June there. So, again, did open the door for some Yankees. And, one of those spots, of course, we know it's going to be Will Warren, and did announce that he's going to crack the rotation. And he's been having a very good spring himself. But Carlos Carrasco was that other guy who kind of stepped it up the spring. And it was someone, the Yankees signed to a minor league deal, and it was like, why you bring this guy in? His last 2 years were terrible, but again, they did look at his stats. Again, Cashman with his he loves his stats there. He did still have his swing and miss ability. It still never really left him, even though his performance was poor. They still had that even last year, and that was kind of why they figured to bring him in, work with Matt Blake. And again, Matt Blake was his former coach when they were back together in Cleveland there. They figured maybe they could rekindle him, give him a little bit of a renaissance there, and it seems to be working. And even Carrasco himself said he did work on a few things in this offseason, to tweak a few things, and it seems to be paying off there. So it looks like he will crack this roster. Now, the kind of bugaboo is that he was turning, I believe, 38 on March 21st, which was this past Friday, and then March 22nd, he had the opportunity to opt out of his minor league deal, and maybe try to get a better offer just because, hey, look, I'm pitching well this spring. Maybe another team would want me, but then the Yankees do want him. So they didn't offer him a major league deal and then included him to the 40-man roster. So he will continue with the Yankees so far this season. Again, I don't know how long they'll ride him out there. Obviously it'd be one of those kind of miracle stories, and we've seen some players have this. I kind of referenced in the YouTube episode. We've seen Bartolo Colon have like a second act of his career in his late 30s, early 40s. After tweaking a few things with the Yankees brought in Freddie Garcia, again the longtime hard thrower with the White Sox. He kind of tweaked a few things, and again gave the Yankees some quality starts for a while there until he faded out. So let's see how they ride this Carrasco thing. I don't know if it goes any further than May, but again, let's just see how that goes. Now, for the other player, that would be Dom Smith. He opted out, but actually will now be looking for a contract with another team. The Yankees decided not to offer him a major league deal and include him to the 40-man roster, which, he's been having a good spring as well. I mean, hitting 297, hit 3 home runs. But unfortunately, the Yankees have a little clogged up at first base there, so I don't know exactly if there's going to be room for him. Again, he would probably, if anything, been a bench player. And he's kind of a weird situation where, he's probably maybe too good to be a bench player, but not great that he deserves an everyday spot. And again, I just don't know where the Yankees are going to put him. Obviously, you have Paul Goldschmidt. He's going to be penciled in as your main first baseman. Now, look, he's 37 years old, so can he use some more days off here and there than maybe when he's a bit of a younger guy? Yeah, and that would have been an opportunity for Dom Smith. But the Yankees have some other players in the mix. You have Ben Rice, who seemingly right now is going to take a lot of the DH spots initially with Stanton gone. But at some point, let's just say they get Stanton back, or if you want to give the DH spot to Judge and give him some days off at his feet, you would probably put Ben Rice at first base. So then you have another first baseman. And then, of course, with DJ LeMahieu, who we don't really know when exactly he's going to be back, but at some point he will be. And he's someone who's going to be in the mix. Again, he's a bit of a jack of all trades. He's probably going to get some third base play, but he could also play first base as well. So it's like the Yankees almost have like 3 first basemen already if you want to count Goldschmidt, Ben Rice, and put DJ LeMahieu in there. So I just don't really know where the spot would be for Dom Smith in that. Now, the only thing, though, with Dom Smith, obviously, he gives you a left-handed at-bat, which, you're not going to get from Paul Goldschmidt or DJ LeMahieu. So if you have a pinch hit situation, or if you want to swap him in later in the game for defensive purposes, you have a lefty at bat there in this case, depending on what opposing pitches are coming out of the bullpen. So, that's what Dom Smith offers, a little bit of flexibility there. But again, I just don't know if there's any room for Dom Smith. He's having a good spring. Again, this was probably, not really a surprise there. So what's happened? So he opts out, and maybe, obviously, hopefully he showcased himself enough where another team want to give a shot on him. Again, he was released last season. He played a little bit with the Reds and the Red Sox, and he got released. So he's kind of hovering around a little bit, so but a good chance maybe someone picks him up. And we saw even Verdugo was kind of on the street for a while. Looks like the Braves finally picked him up there. He didn't really get a chance to showcase himself, so we'll see what happens with Dom Smith. But as for the Yankees, Carlos Carrasco will stick with the team there. Again, we'll probably get some starts, at least the first time, the first go-arounds of the 5-man rotation, and they'll see if they tweak things, if they go to 6-man for a while. And, of course, again, April's always tricky out of the gate because you have a lot of rain delays, rainouts, and double headers, and the schedule's a little iffy, and you have bad weather. So, you're not exactly throwing your same 5. You don't really go through them the same way as you would, maybe June and July when, the weather's nicer and your games are being played and you kind of go through your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the rotation there. So, again, we'll see how Boone and Cashman want to manage that. And as for the backup catcher position, again, it's J.C. Escarra. And we highlighted him a little bit, hitting well, and then we all know he's the feel-good story. He was the player who was released by the Orioles. He didn't give up on baseball and, kind of beat around a little bit just to make a few extra bucks. He was playing some independent league ball. He was working as an Uber driver and as a substitute teacher just to make some extra scratch here and there. And this kind of what he could do just to stay alive and keep his dream going. And obviously came to Yankee camp, has been hitting well, performing well, and he earned the job. And again, he was hitting .333, so that's 16 for 48. 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. Again, winning the backup catcher position. Again, no really big surprise there. Only other option could have been was Ben Rice. We saw them early in the season try him out as catcher, and he's always gets a third catcher. And you always want someone on your bench who can be a third catcher just in case. Something happens to your first 2, if someone gets injured, or you take a guy out of the game, and then the next guy, takes a ball off his thumb or something. So most teams always have a guy that, just in case of emergency, break the glass in case of emergency, can play catcher. So that'll probably be the Ben Rice role. So very well, you see Rice getting it, probably going to be part of the 26-man, roster there once the Yankees officially announced that. Very likely Rice, because he can be the DH / first baseman / emergency catcher. But for J.C. Escarra, and again, they put a video out there, being called into Boone's office, telling him he made the team there. And again, the videos, it's all on social media. They got like over 1 million likes and views and whatnot. And then, of course, he went on the phone to call his mother, tell his mother he made the team, the whole deal like that. So, again, a little bit of the feel-good story there. And since he had a good spring, he was awarded the James P. Dawson Award. I guess the Yankees give that out for, the most outstanding player each spring. Last season, Spencer Jones got it. This season, J.C. Escarra got it. So getting that award and getting awarded the backup catcher position. It's really, you just need someone competent there. You're not really looking for someone to be Babe Ruth or Thurman Munson or something, or, to be the Johnny Bench there. So let's see how well he holds on to the fort. The other thing I don't like about the move is that he's a left-handed batter. Austin Wells is a left-handed batter there. So what I liked, at least last season with Austin Wells and Trevino, the right-handed batter, Wells is the left-handed batter, so you can mix and match based on your opposing pitcher. Now the Yankees are going to war with 2 left-handed bats at the catcher position, which, again, I'd rather have the Yankees have someone right-handed hitting to do that, just so you could, obviously you can match up differently against opposing pitchers there. So is it a huge deal? No. And again, when he plays, the games he plays, he's probably going to be batting, 7th or 8th or 9th in the lineup, whereas we've seen the Yankees doing Austin Wells. He's probably going to be, at least the start of the season, probably be leading off and just using, where he's been hitting over 350 in the spring there. Just uses, baseball batting average to either draw a walk or get on base in front of Judge and let Judge mash in front of him. So probably more from that, you're going to look at Austin Wells leading off, Judge batting second, and then Bellinger backing him up in the third hole there. So, 1, 2, 3 out of the gate. And they may make adjustments throughout the season, but that's probably what you're looking at least your top 3. And then who's going to be, batting 4th cleanup? Might be Paul Goldschmidt, but again, that's probably going to be a little bit of rotation. Ideally, it would be Giancarlo Stanton, but of course, we don't know until he's coming back. And did cover that a little bit in the YouTube episode, that probably looking at, again, there's some whispers that he could possibly be available by Memorial Day. Again, that would be a tremendous victory if that's the case, because this just seems like he's someone that's going to be done for the season. They really haven't given any updates whether, he's going to be able to swing a bat still, and if they gave him really 3 injections yet, doesn't really seem to really be paying off dividends yet, so I don't know, and they haven't said anything about surgeries or anything, so he's kind of in a waiting period. But again, you're hearing some whispers they could potentially be back by Memorial Day. And again, if that's the case, that'd be a tremendous win for the Yankees, but not holding my breath on that win. So that's the episode. Dom Smith, guess goodbye. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see what happens with him. But of course, Carlos Carrasco sticking with the team. Again, at age 38 now, and just kind of inches his way in there. I guess you would say he was the 5th starter for a while there, and in this Yankee rotation until Clark Schmidt's up to speed, and then we'll see what happens from there. And of course, J.C. Escarra making the team as a backup catcher. After years of struggling, the 29-year-old never gave up, and finally now will be on the New York Yankees opening day roster there. And, maybe it lasts a couple of months, maybe, whatever. But all the craziness he went through to finally get here, got here. So you like that story. So we'll catch you next time.